I'm Terry, and this is Tea with Terry, where we talk about thoughts, emotions, and actions. I want to share with you today a thought. And this came up recently, and I was thinking, well, I have shared this concept a lot, but not everyone maybe has heard of it. So I want to talk about this idea of worry and a new thought that I want to challenge you to explore when it comes to this idea of worry. So let's talk about worry as an act that takes place about the future. So we know that one of our goals in living a richer life is to stay grounded and stay present, because when we ruminate, and we go into the past and we mull over and we chew on and we reflect on all of the things in the past, we sometimes can get stuck there. And it takes us out of the present moment and the joy that we can experience here in the here and now. And worry operates the same way, but in the future. And so when we think about worry, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're taking ourselves out of the present moment, and we're moving into considering what might happen. Always worry is not about things that have happened, but things in the future that might happen. And this was a place that I struggled with a lot in my pre alcohol-free life. So in the past, going in the past, this was something I could really recognize. And so now I work really hard to stay in the present and not get caught up in worry. But here's the thing that's so interesting about worry that I wanted to offer as a thought exercise for you today. So when we are worrying, one of the reasons is it's so attractive to us is that it feels like action. So we have a place where we, kind of spend time, and that is in motion or action. So if we think about it, we want to stay in action in order to make progress, improve, move forward in our life, maybe gain more understanding. And sometimes we use motion and we confuse motion for action. And what that looks like is we have a place where we are spinning our wheels, but we're not gaining any traction. And since it's winter right here in North America, and I live in a place where sometimes we get snow, I can visualize what it means to be stuck in a place where we're spinning our wheels, but we're not going anywhere. And I want to offer this thought that that is worry. And why worry is so attractive is it feels like action. We tell our brain that worrying is protective, that we're going to shore ourselves up for what might happen, that we're going to plan. And I want to offer this thought that planning looks very different than worrying. Planning is creating a plan of action, and worrying is getting caught up in motion. And again, worry can look very attractive because it feels like we are doing something. So I want you to consider today, when you are going out in the future and planning, are you actually worrying? Are you falling into a place of motion versus action? And what would it look like to bring yourself back into the present moment and remind yourself that this thing in the future might happen, but it might not? And one of the ways that we can do this is putting pen to paper. So I want to invite you to consider this little exercise as a thought exercise. Bring awareness, notice where you're using worry instead of maybe planning or staying in the present moment, or reminding yourself that hasn't actually happened. And I want to invite you to also consider putting pen to paper and writing down what you're noticing about your propensity to worry, and where are some of the common themes or categories that you might worry about. For example, you might worry about the future. You might worry about finances. You might worry about your grown children. So I want you to explore with this thought exercise where you are falling into worry, maybe what those major themes are, and where you can remind yourself to come back into the present moment and really dig down into what is, not what might be, not what was, but what is in that present moment. And I think this is going to help you get out of worry and pull yourself out of motion. And if there is action to be taken, remember that that action is always in the present moment, not the future. All right, well, that's your thought for today. I hope it helps.